You know, the funny thing is, on the outside, I was an honest man, straight as an arrow. But then I had to listen to Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond to learn to be a crook.
Would you like to learn from those that are taking their lives, their businesses, and their passions to the next level? Best-selling author of Speakeasy and master connector Lou Diamond is here to connect you to some of the most inspiring and amazing people on this planet. Get ready to thrive loud with Lou Diamond.
Talking like we used to do.
Welcome, everyone, to another amazing episode of Thrive Loud with Lou Diamond, connecting you to the most inspiring and amazing people that are thriving each and every day. I'm your host, Lou Diamond, and I'm jumping right into it because today I bring you the CEO of Loreca, Bart-Jan Leyts, coming to us from Belgium. Bart-Jan, how are you
Hi,
today?
Lou. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
I'm fine.
very excited to have you. We're recording this early in the morning in America, middle of the day over in Belgium, and Bart-Jan's got a great story, a cool business, a great idea, and that's what I wanted to bring him here on Thrive Loud. So without further ado, Bart-Jan, here's what I want to do. I don't want to go all the way back to the womb. I want to go back to how the thing you're doing right now and what Loreca is all about, how this all became your thing.
Thank you, Lou. That's a very good question, actually. So first, I think it's important to understand what Loreca does. So with Loreca, we created an algorithm to maximize the visibility of hotels, rental, Airbnb, everyone who is active in the hospitality industry. But where did it came from? So I'm 23 years old. So I think 2.5 years ago, it was COVID here in Belgium. Everything was closed. And my parents, who own a bed and breakfast for a couple of years already, they were really struggling. Tourism, the demand for tourism was really down. Nobody could go on holiday anymore. There were some people still traveling. So this is where I got like a lot of time left, still as a student, still majoring in finance and data at the time. And it started really like tinkering around, like what could I do to improve the performance of the bed and breakfast of my parents, even though it's COVID. So this is where I really tinkered like on an algorithm, really started searching like what could we do to be like top noted on an Expedia, on a Booking, on an Airbnb, all these platforms, and what makes really a difference. So this is where I started trying out some things, and sometimes it's worked really good, sometimes it's worked really bad. I have to be honest. But at the end of the day, I could really test a lot. I could do a lot of trial and error, and I noticed, okay, this is something that was really working. From that moment, I started to like everything what I could to earn some money, to like raise some cash flows, to like from making websites to installing backends of restaurant, all this kind of things I started doing just to raise some capital. With this capital, but we are talking like really small amounts of capital. With this capital, I could hire some freelance developers who helped me like creating an algorithm, which which is this algorithm you put into your Airbnb, you put it in your hotel, and you're top noted on an OTA, on a channel like Booking.com, Expedia. So it all started like from really like the room at my house where I wanted to help my parents, and now the company is 16 months old. We are here today in the office with 7, and we are rapidly growing.
So this is awesome. And for those listeners out there, this is the short-term rental market, which is obviously, for those in America, we're familiar with Booking.com, Airbnb, or VRBO, or all of these different places. And now, so I want to dive into what Loreca actually does. Explain to our listeners what this algorithm, how it maximizes, and is it helping more is it helping the one who's looking to put their property up for rent, or is it helping the one who's looking to rent the property?
Yeah, so it's really about the host. So the hosts who offer their property to other people, to guests who like to go on a holiday. So Loreca does, what the algorithm does, is they check based on the data which is the most relevant platform in your area, in your segment, where you could maximize your profit. So based on your costs, for example, if you have a really heavy cleaning cost, like a really big cleaning cost because you're in an area that's very hard to reach by car or something, you need to be in a different segment than like the one night stay. You need to be in a segment where people always stay for 3 days, for 7 days, for 10 days, etc. But all this, if you start looking on Airbnb, on VRBO, on Expedia even, and you give in like, okay, I want to go to Florida for 3 days, give me the list. Then all these lists are so different if you search for 1 day, for 3 day, for 7 day. And this is where like we first make the strategic decision for like a rental. We say, okay, the strategy we have put in place, we'll put it in our algorithm. So what the data says, it's always up to date. So if we see on booking.com on a Saturday night, in where you from, Lou, from Florida, we see that the increase of traffic is enormously compared to Expedia. We will put their listing above on Booking, so when they go Booking Florida, they see your listing, despite of Expedia, if the data shows that. It's very important in the short-term rental industry, so the STR they call it, because like the statistics show that 75% of all bookings occur within the 7 first page view. So it's like, you can really draw the parallel with Google. Whenever you're on page 10 on Google, nobody will go to page 10 on Google. It's the same on all these OTAs. People like especially after COVID, they want to book their travel or their holiday destination faster. They don't have much time. They don't plan like 1 hour to compare everything. They see, okay, this is recommended for me, I will book it. But of course, this ranking is not randomly, and this is where Loreca is there to really like put them on top.
Okay, so I like this. So basically, it's almost like you've taken almost SEO like technology and embedded it in with all the different services. And I'm guessing that's what you're doing, is you're putting it together. So now, as the host who's trying to fight for real estate and where their properties are, and understanding the algorithm, and by the way, you're doing it across multiple platforms, right? So the person who puts their property up, they're putting it up into the fiefdom of booking.com or Airbnb or wherever it might be. Isn't Loreca fighting with the challenges of each of the unique platforms that you're dealing with to try to how do you get around all the different environments so that you're pushing these things through inside booking.com or inside Airbnb? How are you able to do that?
That's actually a very important question, because all these platforms are connected to each other, like not technically corrected, but they constantly scrape each other. Like booking.com constantly check, okay, what is this performance of this property on Expedia? What is this performance of this property on Airbnb and such? Because they think as a company as well. If they see, oh no, this hotel X is most cheap on Expedia, then booking.com will think, okay, the probability for us to really earn a lot of money on this hotel is less, because the cheapest price could be found on Expedia. So this is where they already will lower the ranking. So it's all connected, and that's why it's very important to really take into account all the segments. And in the USA and Europe, it's even more complex, in the USA especially, because in the USA, OTAs, so booking.com, Expedia, they can really check at the price of a direct channel, a brand.com as we call it. Like if your hotel has a website, hotelx.com, and you want there to be the cheapest because you don't have to pay the commission, then in the USA, booking.com and Expedia can check it. In Europe, this is not allowed. So all the pieces should be like aligned in one strategy.
Okay, I like it. Bart-Jan, I got a good question here, and this is an interesting one, and that is, how does Loreca make money? So I'm guessing the hosts will subscribe to Loreca services so that they can utilize this. And are there other Loreca type companies out there?
So like our business model is like a SaaS company. So we work with a monthly subscription. But what is different than like traditional SaaS companies is that we have a personal approach and a personal connection with every one of our customers. Because we truly believe that there is not a single hotel or not a single Airbnb where everything is exactly the same. So this is where we are an algorithm. So it's like a custom version for each hotel. And not a software. So how do we make money on a monthly basis? They pay us, but most of the time we have like a monthly performance or 2 weekly, depending on what the needs of the customer are, and we really go with them to the strategy. Like we are also there for them to help relieve some pains, because if we want to optimize, we optimize the visibility. This means that there will be more guests coming. But to be able to do this, we need to make sure that all the other pieces of the big hotel or the big rental puzzle is in order. If you're, for example, you're used to selling 40% of your nights, and that's fine for you, and you only have cleaning tea 40% of the night, but then you start working with us and it goes up to 60 or to 70, then you have very like big operational pressure. So this is where we first want to make sure like all the pieces are aligned with the end strategy, and the end strategy is optimizing the visibility. But also for hotels who use like automatic pricing, this is also a big thing in the industry, where you get like every now and then, every time cycle, you get like an automated price based on market demand. But this also impacts, because if we increase the pickup is the amount of times a hotel gets booked on a certain day, for example, and this increases if you're on top. This has to be aligned to. So it's really like we are a part of the puzzle, but we have to make sure all the other parts are connected good if we want to like really go to the end goal. And the end goal is maximize revenue, optimize working, and as possible, if possible, like manual labor has to be cut off to the maximum.
I like it. Bart-Jan, you're a young guy. You're 23 years old. You got this company up and running. First of all, I didn't want to let this slip by. What does Loreca mean, or what's the meaning behind the name itself?
That's a funny story, actually. So in the beginning, in my beginning days, when we were doing everything from building websites to like going to restaurants and making digital menus, even, we were like Loreca consultancy, but in Dutch. So my native language, Loreca, it means like everyone active in the hospitality industry. So this is where we were like Loreca consultancy, and then we moved to Loreca. But in the future, we will have a rebranding, because it's still like from the early days to like make it a bit more internationally known. Because an important thing of our algorithm is that we're geographically limited, because we can't put everyone on the first page of booking.com, or on the first page on Expedia. So this is why, if we want to scale with the company, we need to scale geographically instead of like locally and having all the hotels in one area in our thing. So this is where we're really pushing for a rebranding to make it like an internationally known term, so it gets more.
So we'll make sure that we let people know that this is a holding piece for it right now, but we'll keep our eyes open for it. Bart-Jan, I want to get this, as you think about where this can go and how you can get this service to grow in here. Obviously, there's lots more things that are using that shared space, if you would, or that short-term rental market. Do you see opportunities that go beyond just the hospitality pieces, right? Because there's lots of people are renting. Pop-up stores are showing up in certain places. New events are coming in. Do you think the technology and the algorithm on helping to optimize somebody's property place can be carried over with the algorithm and the work that you're doing?
Yeah, exactly. So right now we're only like in the short-term rental industry, but like if we think about real estate, you have all these platforms where you see like a list,
Yeah.
but people always think it's just random. But the truth is, of course, all these things are not random. They are driven by the the definition the company gives. So there we see a lot of opportunities to integrate our system, but right now it's only in the hospitality industry. But to answer the first part of your question, it's true that like technology is rapidly like inserting or like interfering in different sectors, and this is where hospitality is really like an outlier, because like the average population of the people or like the owners in the hospitality industry is a bit more old, or like a bit more leaning towards 40 to 60, and for them it's even harder to adapt to the rapid increase of technology, where in the early days it was enough to be like just being present on Booking, on Expedia, on Airbnb, on your own website. Right now being present is not enough. You need to excel in this to be able to start doing what you're really good at, offering the best service to guests, because a lot of people in this industry are 100% professionals. They know everything about guest experience, about like being a hospital guest. They know everything, or a hospital host, sorry. But like the first part to get them to there is to be like well advanced with your technology setup. And this is something we occur on a daily basis.
I like it. And look, I love when you find a problem that you were very close to and tried to figure out a way to solve it. And here you're helping all these other people do it, which means, by the way, Bart-Jan, that you are thriving each and every day. At least you're trying, and so young and doing this and getting this company up and going. I like kind of like pulling back the layers and understanding a little bit more about you. I want to try and understand, look, you started a company, you got a new idea, you're probably motivated every single minute trying to get people to sign up for this business. But we all have those days when we're a little off our game. Bart-Jan, when you have trouble thriving, what practice do you seek, or maybe which individual do you seek out to get yourself back on the thriving track, to keep yourself motivated and moving forward?
That's a very good question. Especially like the thing about young entrepreneurship, it's very nice, it's very inspiring, but the big disadvantage is that your peer group is most of the time your friends. They are in a different stage of their life. Most of the time they are just graduating, they are starting their first job. So it's very hard to like find comfort with peers that really understand like the problems of being an entrepreneur, like really the mental problems of that. So I'm very lucky that I have a wonderful girlfriend who supports me every day. But like where I really get my motivation from is really like calling to some of the clients we have, who are most of the time like 40, 50, and they are saying, okay, thank you, we had this problem for a really long time and you helped me. Like I think all entrepreneurs who are listening who are listening have these days that you think, okay, what the fuck am I doing? Is this even right? But then it's just, you need to find this little like handholds to like get you going, to keep you going. But that's really the big contrast with young entrepreneurship, is that you don't have like this necessary peer group.
I like it. Look to fame and have your girlfriend help out, which is not a bad idea. Let's do the admin part of the show here. Bart-Jan, let's share with everybody where they can learn about Loreca or yourself. We'll put it on the show notes, but it always gets more engagement when they hear it from you.
Perfect. So everyone could find this or can find this at our website. So it's www.loreca.be. Or they can always be in contact with me on LinkedIn. So my name is Bart-Jan Leyts. Even for the young entrepreneurs who are listening and you're struggling with something, or you're just unsure, or you're like thinking of an idea and you don't know how to like take the next steps because you're really young, like the gap is even more big, because you know you come from really nothing most of the time. So please reach out to me. I'm always happy to help and share my insights and my thoughts, or help you think about some pains in your life. Always welcome.
Bart-Jan, excellent. We're going to put all that in the show notes, and for the listeners, that's Loreca, that's LORECA.be is the URL if you want to go check it out. So he's sipping some cappuccino or some coffee or espresso. We're ready to rock and roll here on Thrive Loud, and I want to go down Fun Street with you. Can you share with the listeners what you shared with me was one of your all-time favorite movies?
It's The Wolf of Wall Street. I think it's a bit cliche, But this is my all-time favorite movie. I majored in finance, so I have to answer this one.
Okay, so finance major, you understand the business of this. Did you ever want to pursue a career in finance? Did you ever want to, work on Wall Street?
Yeah, it was when I was younger, like in the beginning days of my university career. It was my dream to go to Wall Street, but then entrepreneurship came my way. So yeah, so now we're here.
It's really funny because I find that movie interesting based on the generations that we deal with of how people connect with it, and everyone always loves a really good villain. It's always
Exactly.
good. The building of a character and a guy, whatever. That's the Quaalude scene is still my favorite scene when he thinks of what really happened versus the reality. I always love that. All right, we're gonna do the speed round here at Fun Street. Bart-Jan, I know you can handle it. You're quick. You're adaptable. You're helping companies and people who have properties adapt to this crazy busy market so they can get more exposure. So you're going to be doing a great job on this. I'm going to ask you something. I just want the first thing that comes to your mind. These are things that lift you up, that motivate you, that make you feel good. Basically, they make you thrive. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
He's
Let's
like,
do it.
uh-oh. He's like, oh, okay. Of late, a song that you're listening to or maybe one that pumps you up.
It's Mess is Mine from Vance Joy. It's not the most pumped up song, but I don't know why I get my motivation from it.
All right. A favorite food that's not a dessert.
I'm from Belgium, so I have to say fries.
A favorite dessert.
I think it will be ice cream with chocolate sauce because I'm from Belgium.
Yeah, we're going to get all the Belgium things going on here.
Yeah, exactly.
An activity you wish you did more of.
Exercising. This is not a hard one. The thing about entrepreneurship is you really need to find the balance, and I'm still like searching sometimes the time to do some exercising.
An activity you wish you did less of.
This is a hard one. I wanted to say working, but this is can be the case. Commuting, because I'm always going from place A to B, and so I'm really glad we're coming to this area of online meetings.
Understood. I can understand that's the positive of not meeting with people. An activity you recently tried that you want to tell everybody else to go try because you had so much fun doing it.
We in Belgium have this big hype of padel, so it's like this sports. But I recently started doing padball, so it's like padel with your feet and your heads.
Oh,
It's really
very
fun.
cool. Awesome. If I could snap my fingers and Bart-Jan could be anywhere in the world, where are you?
I would be in Bali again. I was there a couple of months ago, and it was really a wonderful time.
Bart-Jan Leyts, Loreca, everybody check it out. This is definitely starting to change the short-term rental market. And if you are a property owner that puts your stuff on one of the properties, go check it out at loreca.be. Great to have you on, Bart-Jan. A lot of fun. Thanks for popping in on this Friday, and continued success to you, and keep thriving loud.
Thank you very much, Lou, and enjoy the rest of your morning.
You got it, my friend. And to all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. And until next time, keep moving onward and upward. And remember, be brief, be bright, be gone.
You've been listening to Thrive Loud with your host, Lou Diamond. Check us out on the web at thriveloud.com and follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at Thrive Loud. And check us out on the Good Pods app at Thrive Loud, where you can follow, listen, and connect directly to Lou and all of the Thrive Loud episodes. Thanks for listening.